Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Sadgurudev Maharaj की जय। हार्दिक स्वागत। हमारे किरण भाई का खूब अभिनंदन कीर्तन के लिए और छात्रों का वेद पाठ के लिए। And a special welcome to everybody on this International Women's Day. They are having a program at Bhagwan's or near Bhagwan's Samadhi to celebrate this day. And then yesterday, somewhere along all of the books I received, Devi Mahatmyam. And I thought actually in India, we have plenty of temples around the country for the feminine, for the Devi, for the goddess. I read somewhere we have 2 million, 20 lakh temples total in India. And how many of them go to the goddess, how many of them to the gods, it remains to be seen. We worship her as Mahakali or Durga, Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati. Durga, who removes all of the pain, all of the suffering, all of the negative. Lakshmi, who bestows abundance. And Saraswati, who bestows knowledge or wisdom. Then there's many more that are worshipped in so many different forms, and yet as much as Devi is worshipped, we have Bhadrakali here in Ganeshpuri, brought by Bhagwan Nityanand. We have Goddess Vajreshwari, which has been here. Most people know this area for Goddess Vajreshwari and the hot springs. And then they know there is a Avadut, there is a Saint Nityananda. So many people from Mumbai have, when you talk to them, they've all been here to Vajreshwari and Ganeshpuri for a picnic to the hot springs. And then for those who came before Bhagwan passed, had his darshan as well. So I guess all over the world today, on this 8th of March, especially being a Sunday this year, there will be a lot of different celebrations for what we call Nari Shakti or women's power. And I often share a little episode from my own life. When we were little, we were 3 of us by then, because Guru Ma had already moved on to the ashram, and my father, mother and 3 of us children. And we were getting ready one morning to go to school, father to go to work, and there was a little issue at home. I don't remember the issue, but there was an issue at home. And then the father and the 3 children would all leave home to go to school and to work. And then when we stepped out of the house, out of the gate, the father stopped us all and said, "She is the queen or the ruling party inside the house," meaning the mother. So you don't argue or fight with her. Inside the house, her will, her power, her say works. Now we are independent outside the gate. And I still remember this as a young child. It's a very funny situation, but the father was clear, or the husband was clear, that once he comes inside the gate of the house, he may be a big businessman, he may be a big man in the world, but when he comes into her domain, she is the queen and she is the law. So there is no discussion as to who will have the final say. So I often remember this, especially today on Women's Day, that he was very clear. Inside the home, she says, we just simply follow, we simply do. Once we step outside her kingdom, which is the house, we are all independent kings and rulers. And he laughed, we all smiled, and he went towards his work, we went towards school. Because each one of us, according to our own ego, according to our own mind, wants to have the final word, wants to have the final say. But when you become clear as to whose domain is where, and realize that that person, that's his power, that's his Shakti. So when we think of this day, it's really about Shakti. In the philosophy of Kashmir Shaivism, we have Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti. Ichha is will, Kriya is action, Jnana is knowledge. And the combination of all three makes life work. So we need to have will, we need to have action, we need to have knowledge. You cannot just have will and not have action and not have knowledge. So I often ask myself, what percentage is what? I don't know what percentage is what, but I feel a firm determination within ourselves, and then the willingness to act. That is one of the missing aspects in our life today. And knowledge and understanding. We may not be a great knower of the truth. We may not have all the, amongst the books which came actually through Ramu Nayak, Kiran's uncle, who passed away, I think, month? 30th January. All of a sudden he passed. He was an active individual, an active person in this community, wearing no shoes, grew up here and did a lot, especially for young children, and a lot of chanting. So all these books came through him. A book of Ramana Maharshi. This is a very small version of Who Am I? He says, you have to keep inquiring, who am I, till the thought subsides. Now, many seekers ask this question, when will the thought subside? So of course, the sage says, when you become established as the knower of the truth. So when do I become established as the knower of the truth? When my thoughts subside. So the whole process of who am I is the elimination of the ego, is the elimination of all of this, what I call nonsense in life. So when we come here to Ganeshpuri, many people ask me, what is it that we do? I say, we actually have to do nothing. If we can just enjoy the vibration, if we can enjoy this energy and just be in this space. Bhagwan's Samadhi, Bhagwan's Kailas, the place where he left his body, Bhadrakali, and I tell people, if we just go from one place to the other, the whole day is done. And at the end of the day, if you finish at 9:30 with the last Aarti in the Samadhi Mandir, it's time to go to sleep. Then you got to get up the next morning to start the whole routine again. And by the end of the day, if you really focus upon the energy, upon the Shakti, your mind is simply filled with that divinity. At least that's my understanding, my experience, and what I feel just needs to happen in this space, because just rotating your day around all that which happens and not to worry about everything else just happens. Peace, where he shares that the only thing worth knowing is the self. Otherwise, you can travel to planets, you can travel to different places, to different locus, but really the only thing to know is the self, is the Atman. And I think when that happens, we become like Bhagwan, just lay there, just do nothing, and I look forward to that day. So just allowing all thoughts to subside, everything, all dramas to subside, and just simply become immersed in the self, in the Atman. तो आज किसी ने अंतर्राष्ट्रीय महिला दिवस उत्सव बनाया है। गणेश्वर संस्था बहुत साल हो गए बिल्डिंग बनाया है, तो वहाँ सीने का कार्य, कंप्यूटर क्लास, ये सब होगा, ऐसा हम भगवान से प्रार्थना करते हैं। और भारत में नारी शक्ति की पूजा होती ही है, और घर में भी आप देखते हैं कि माता जी है तो घर अच्छा है, कोई माता है तो घर सुखी है, शांत है। कोई माता गड़बड़ भी कर सकती है, ऐसा नहीं कहता, क्योंकि हम महाकाली, महालक्ष्मी, महासरस्वती तीनों रूप में उनको पूजते हैं। लेकिन मैं मानता हूँ हम सबका एक कर्तव्य बनता है कि उनको हम सुखी रखें, उनको हम खुश रखें, और वो फिर हमको सुखी रखती है, हमको खुश रखती है। तो भगवान से, भगवती से हम यही प्रार्थना करते हैं कि हम सभी को वो बुद्धि दे, हम सभी को वो समझ दे। इन संतों ने जो हमें मार्ग बताया है, उस मार्ग पर हम चलते रहें, और चलते 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 कुछ समझ, कुछ ज्ञान, कुछ बुद्धि आ जाए। और हम भी, मैं हमेशा ही प्रार्थना करता हूँ कि हम सबके जीवन में सुख हो, शांति हो, समृद्धि हो। सुख हो, शांति हो, समृद्धि हो, यही बस मुख्य बातें हैं, और इतना हमारे पास है तो सब कुछ है। तो इसके लिए हम प्रार्थना कर, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, माँ कश्चित् दुःख भाग् भवेत्। कि सभी सुखी हो, सभी निरोगी हो, सबको दृष्टि जो है अच्छी हो, सब जो है अच्छा ही देखे। मतलब दृष्टि हमारा, समझ हमारा उस तरह का हो कि हम अच्छा ही दें और हम किसी को दुख न दें। ये भी एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण बात है हमारे जीवन में। खुद भी दुखी न हो, दूसरों को भी हम दुखी न करें, और जितना अपने से अच्छा होता है उतना हम अच्छा करें। और कुछ नहीं होता है तो कुछ मत करो, लेकिन किसी को तंग मत करो, त्रास मत दो। तो बड़े प्रसन्नता की, आनंद की बात है। हमने कुछ समय कीर्तन किया, वेद पाठ श्रवण किया, और इस भगवान से हम प्रार्थना करते हैं कि जहाँ जहाँ भी हमारे मंदिर है सनातन, कि वहाँ हो सके उतना वेद पाठ हो, कीर्तन हो, क्योंकि इससे जो एक वातावरण बनता है, एक सात्विक, एक पवित्र वातावरण, शुद्ध वातावरण, तो जो कोई भी भक्त आता है उस वातावरण में, तो उसको भी वो सुख का, शांति का अनुभव होता है।